Alright, got the eyeglasses from Clark. I think we just popped these on in one specific screen in Joel. They don't have any other use beyond that, but I like the 5 lines that we have in this game. It always catches me off guard when I see our name pop up. Like, oh, we're actually speaking right here. So we can head back to Joel now. Rest up at the inn. And if you want to pop those eyeglasses on right now, looks a lot like the gas mask that couldn't be bothered to animate slightly different looking eyepiece there. As we go into what should be the rabbit hutch of this town, wearing those, hit B, and you'll see the secret passage. This will take you to the lighthouse. And remember when we bought that alarm flute earlier? There's our friend Kenzu. Kind of the comic relief sometimes of this game, if you ask me. Happily sleeping. Should be eaten by zombies. But I have something that you want. Oh well. Alright, we got the glowing lamp. Not sure what would happen if we used a key in the lighthouse. Maybe the ocean would explode. Trigger a massive tsunami and just swallow up Joel. Use that glowing lamp though, and that'll fix the statue. And we'll take the statue of gold now to the small island that they mention in Zombie Town. It's not too far from here, just northwest. Bringing our dolphin pal to give us one last ride. Sounds kind of sinister, one last ride. Let's go up and around. It's pretty much behind that tunnel there, that cave. Come in here, and then just equip and use the statue of gold. And the angry sea is calm. Which just means that the whirlpools at the top of this, which we haven't seen yet, that were blocking our passage before, are cleared. And Asina gives us the barrier spell. It's not all that useful, but the Grand Poobah. Just think of Happy Days when I see that. Picture Tom Bosley wearing a fez. Very data reference, but you know what? If I'd said that when this game came out, a couple more people might have gotten it, I don't know. Watched a lot of Nick at Night as a kid. All the old reruns. So we're in Swan now. Blaze?
In Swan! Nothing! Hold on to your money. We're gonna be in Shyron in just a moment. Much better things to purchase there. Just hold on.
Without a doubt. Very much looking forward to Shyron for the item that I keep talking about. Blaze mentioned this earlier. There's Stom. What are you doing in the little rabbit hutch here? It's like the doghouse. Kenzu and take him to Shyron. I still want to deliver this love pendant to Kenzu. Which I'm realizing when I say that out loud, he might misinterpret that, but very nice. I like the people that say they say something, but they may as well have said nothing. The great Kenzu. That sounds suspicious. So, to see someone's true form, hit them with the paralysis spell and then talk to them, and then you can see their true form. We don't use this too often, actually, but it's important here. In this city, at least. Many thanks for your promise. Shoot! 8 people who are pushy. They're gonna disappear on us again? Alright, finally give him the love pendant. Yeah, sure, her belief in you. That's why people give love pendants. Alright, finally. Got the chain spell, one of the most fun spells to use in this game. Lets us take on the form of 4 different people. Not sure why it's limited to these 4 options that they give you, but a fun place to use it first is here in the Amazons town. Become a nondescript lady here in appearance. And people actually acknowledge you, isn't that nice? They don't block the door, they let you go in and see the leader. Gorgeous leader. Yeah. So I've already taken the treasure by just freezing the guard at the door and not acknowledging anyone. But I guess if you haven't already gotten the ball of, or the bracelet of water, and then they escort you out. If you give her the Carissa plant, then she'll give you something. No rush, we'll pop back in and give it to her a bit later. Soldier suit, ceramic suit, battle shield. This is going to be all of our money. I know Blaze told me not to, but I'm going to pick this up. Sell off the old stuff so we can still buy what we need to when we get to Shyron. I like to clear out the old inventory space anyway. The old platinum armor. And the bronze shield. There we go. Less clutter. How much you charging here? 150. Just keeps going up. Have you ever heard of Leaf? They basically pay you to sleep there. Alright, so we got that change spell. Let's have some more fun with it. Thankfully, one of the 4 options is one of the evil guards. Here we go. In complete uniform. We don't match them in color, but they open the door for you, and you're like, suckers. Got more of those creatures around here. The guards actually aren't too bad for doing a bit of grinding. If you use the right sword, that is. So they're strong against the, well, whatever we have equipped right now. Ignore the town up to the north. It's the Empire's headquarters, basically, their capital city. Instead, we're going to head to these purple mountains, Majesty, to the west here. Matches our hair. And we can go north for a decent place to earn some XP and some cash. Or we can freeze lava, apparently, with our blizzard bracelet. Could have used level 2 as well. I don't want to give the impression that we had to use the level 3 spell there. And more guards that won't let us in. At this point, we can't use the freeze spell, the paralysis. So let's use our change one more time. And let's go Akuma. Akuna? I forget what that guy's name is. Let's try Stom. It's ridiculous because both these guys are in this town right now. So you think they would let either one in? Maybe they just don't like the other guy. Alright, we're finally in Shyron, Blaze.
Alright, finally in Shyron. First, make sure you purchase a ceramic suit if you can afford it. You can do some leveling around here and make some really decent money in the mountains. I'm sure the professor will talk about that, but 5.5k to purchase that for 24 melee defense, and the battle shield for a little bit less, 24 range defense. But I talked about this earlier. My item of the game, the magic ring, is available here for $800. It is a steal. No spoilers, but we're not going to be able to purchase these for much longer in Shyron. So, stock up. Literally, fill up your entire inventory with this item. You will not regret it. You can buy them later in the game for 5 times the price, so you might as well just stock up now, and it's going to be a while before we can purchase them again, so grab them and thank me later.
Yeah, ceramic suit is a bit cheaper here. That's my mistake. You were vain to change yourself in front of me. Good. Finally made it. I like that he saw right through it. Didn't even have to paralyze us. Yeah, I don't think these guys are gonna stand a chance against the Empire's men, but I could be wrong. What's the situation, Asina? Zebu's waiting in the back, alright. Here's Stom. Yeah, he basically says something along the lines of, huh, neat trick, that's funny or something if you talk to him as Stom. Alright, the Sword of Thunder. Final sword in the game. Well, that's not quite true. We'll be in the caves of Styx. Remember the good old days when you could just go into some random guy's house and leave and he'd give you a sword? Now we gotta risk our lives. Braving cavern after cavern, countless enemies. Who, again, give you pretty decent experience in this upcoming area. Yeah, the only rough part about the grinding spot near the end of the game is that at that point, you probably, you know, out of necessity have to be at like level... Good lord. About to die. You don't have too many more levels to get, but look how much these guys pay. This is a pretty decent spot right here. $100 a kill. So, kill, what, 8 of them and you can get yourself another magic ring. Not a bad strategy in the least. Everything pays out pretty well in terms of experience. I think compared to other games like Final Fantasy, the quote-unquote grinding is a lot more lenient in this game. About to die here. Might be better off just heading back to Shyron. Stay at the inn, buy ourselves another magic ring. Pretty much the last of our money. So I'm gonna do a bit of grinding in those caves, fighting those guys I just showed, get to level 13. And I referenced this earlier, if we go inside here at the Amazons as a lady, and give her the Carissa plant, in return she will give us one of 2 bows in this game, which we'll need later. The Bow of Moon. It's not an actual practical weapon, but we will need this a little bit later. Just love changing right in front of them. Showing them they've been duped. Alright, so we've pretty much filled our entire row at the top with magic rings. Warp boots aren't going to do us any good. We'd get a lot more use out of another magic ring, so we could use that to replenish our magic and just essentially teleport wherever we want to. So there we go, we're maxed out now on magic rings, which means we're basically unstoppable at this point. The magic ring really is overpowered, given how essential magic is in this game. It's an inn on demand, essentially. And we have a whole row of them now, so just do yourself a favor. Like, kind of mentioned, Blaze mentioned it. It's going to be a while before we can purchase any more magic rings without giving anything away or too much away, so make sure you stock up right here before we actually progress and pick up the Sword of Thunder and go beyond. But a whole row of magic rings should be more than enough to keep you well stocked before we can buy them again, so make a left at the fork here. Got one of those little harpy fairy creatures following us. And we'll use the key to Styx that we were given, I guess, from Zebu. As we enter Styx proper, fight off an overwhelming urge to sing Mr. Roboto. Or Sailing Away. Another personal favorite. Use the barrier spell to protect yourself. Note that only works when you hold down the A button, so just use it when you're cutting through those areas there. If you go to the right, it's a dead end until we have a particular spell that we don't have yet, as there's a moat which is blocking the way, just like right here, actually. In this case, there are some spots that we can freeze. The Empire's sewage, I guess. So while we carry on in Styx and freezing Emperor's sewage as we go, I understand Fluff has another hack about this game. Fluff?
There's a warp cheat which allows you to warp to even places you haven't been yet. To pull this off, you'll need a second controller. Press AB on controller 1 while holding A on controller 2. A screen should then pop up where you can warp to several different places as if you are using warp boots or the spell, but you can even go to places you haven't unlocked yet.
Good call, Fluff. Never tried that one myself. Still things I'm learning about this game after all these years. Here you have a choice. You can go over a floating platform up top, or you can go through some spikes to the right. You don't want to risk this, because you can easily get knocked down then. Just like that. Thankfully our frozen sewer sludge remains intact. Yeah, instead of going, or attempting to go across that floating platform there, you can just cut to the right and use your rabbit boots to jump through some spikes. Take a little bit of damage, but safer than risking getting knocked off and dropping down over and over and over, so. We need to go through the spikes anyway to cut right here and get the final, well, sort of the final sword. The Sword of Thunder just sitting there on its own. Zebu talks to us telepathically. I guess we're gonna teleport back to, alright. Free of charge, I like that. This Azteca, giving us some context here. Alright, so we gotta find Mija, we gotta help Mija save the world. So, different. It's a different thing. More context. There you go, no pressure. Now the real battle begins. Alright, I mentioned this before, but for real this time. Make sure you have any and all. After Draygonia is destroyed, we'll have a rematch. Sure we will, Stom, sure we will, but one final reminder. If you need any magic rings, now is the time to buy them. Again, not giving anything away. Once you're ready, transport to Swan. Or if you've already checked in with the Empire, gone north in that field, where I said just ignore that, then you can teleport to Goa, which is their stronghold. Leaving the gate unattended. Wonder where all the where the Empire's focusing their guards. These guys are still here, obviously. This is their flagship city, Goa. You bug me, go away. Okay. Wonder if you'd say that if I were shapeshift to look like one of your comrades. You'd probably be like, hey, you owe me money. I know you. Thanks. Wow, what a shill. Definitely someone has crosshairs trained on him 24/7. There's Kenzu undercover, I like it. We'd probably get him killed if we hit him with a paralysis spell right now. Revealed his true form. Let's not get Kenzu killed. Alright, so we're in the Emperor's Fortress here. Use the barrier spell once again. And then once you get to the end here, we're going to get a message that Shyron is under attack. Everyone is dying. You must hurry. Alright. So just so you know, it doesn't matter how quickly you pull out that teleport spell. When you get there, it's going to look like this. It's a bummer. He's already dead. This makes me think of the Krusty Burglar. Getting beat senseless by Homer. Akahana. That's sad. He's got a friend in Goa. Keep that in mind, since we do have the option to shapeshift into him. even Stom. We get another line there, don't speak. Take care of Tornell. Man. Yeah, that hit me when I was a kid. We're gonna make whoever pay, I guess Mado in this case. Let's put him down. What do you got for us, Gary?
Boss beaters.
Alright, Mado. Fire your fully charged water sword blasts at Mado and just avoid their projectiles and random movements, you'll take them down.
Thank you very much, Gary. Yeah, the water bracelet, the level 3 spell, it's just not very satisfying, I guess. Gets the job done, but I like that concentrated blast of the flame sword. But we get the Ball of Thunder, so we do level 2 thunder spells now, which we need to progress in the Goa Fortress. So yeah, we were about to hit a dead-end wall anyway, had we tried to keep going there. Not saying the people of Shyron had to die, but in another way of saying it. Anyway. Ironically, staying at the inn in the Empire's town in order to build up our strength to destroy the Empire. It's the little things, you know? So let's pop on that Thunder Sword with the Ball of Thunder. I do like the color scheme of the Thunder Sword, the navy and the yellow. Pops. It's nice. Barrier once again. Have the sink charged up because this wall is going to fire at us. We want to take it down quickly. This place is decently sized. So just follow this track here. There's a few of these like cutaways to get to the second tier every now and then, and it's not obvious in the least as to which one we need to take, and then there's different ways it cuts, like down or up here. Everything else leads to a dead end essentially, so this is the fastest track to get to the next boss at least. Speaking of that next boss, this one looks familiar, Gary.
Boss beaters.
Alright, General Kelbesque revisited. Recommend level 13. Fire your fully charged wind sword blasts at him. Heal as you need to, and stand still just up and to the left or right to get him to fire straight at you. That's a fun little hack right there. He'll always miss as long as you're in the right spot and not moving when he starts firing.
Thank you, Gary. I love little hacks like that Gary uncovers for us. Doesn't really matter though, he's not that difficult, and especially when you got a pocket full of magic rings you can use on demand. The wind level 3 sword is about as satisfying as the water one. At least the water one kind of hangs around a bit longer. I think this is an opal statue. We don't have one. Let's just diversify our... Probably should have healed first. Not the most practical item, the opal statue. You have to have it equipped for it to be useful in death. But anyway, at least Zebu's okay. It's good that he made it out, or I guess they took him captive. So this part of the Draygonia castle is even larger than the last one. What I wouldn't give for that flight spell, which we still don't have, but you can see a few areas. I guess this is lava. Might still be some Imperial waste floating around in it as well. I know there's some... I don't know. I guess that's where they sacrifice their prisoners, or... maybe it's just some workers on their way to clock in or something. It's very precarious getting around here. Imagine working here. being part of the maintenance crew or something. Again, this is the fastest route to take. There's a lot of ice bridges we could be making here, but in my experience, this is the quickest way to get where we need to go. Just up and around, and then this first cut through here, we're going to have a wall, so let's get that level 2 attack ready to clear the way. Yeah, he shot me in the wrong direction. Not sure how this guy poisons us. Explain that to me. Thankfully, this one doesn't fire anything at us, even though it has a face. Wipe that clean. And we start to have a little boss rush here. Alright, Gary?
Boss beaters.
Alright, Sabera revisited. Level 13 we recommend. Time your fully charged fire sword blast when Sabera stops moving to maximize damage. Avoid their counterclockwise projectiles like last time. Just heal as you need to. Use those magic rings if necessary and take them down.
Just love that fire bracelet. It's so good. Just hit after hit after hit. Charge when you can. And that should do it. Yep. Then the explosion on top of it, very satisfying. They didn't get away this time. Too many items. Let's see, what are they leaving behind for us? That's a fruit of repun. I don't necessarily care about that, so we're supposed to be able to go out the back. Do I need to pick this up in order just to move the screen forward? That's a little ridiculous. A little glitch right there, but that's okay. There's Tornell, I get. Looks a lot like Kenzu, but he and I guess he and Stom are good friends. Yep. Avenge Stom, you don't have to tell me. So if you go off to the sides, there's an opal statue at the top. We ultimately want to go up and then right one and then just all the way up to the top. That's going to carry us on to the next area. We could have gone left as well. They kind of lead to the same area ultimately, but there's a magic ring if we go this way, so. And we're paralyzed. And we're not, alright. Ah. Darn invisible enemies knocking us into the pit. It's not dangerous, it's just frustrating, you know? Try to lure them up to the top. Yeah, when we kill those creatures, I see what did that now. I'm not sure where that invisible enemy spawned from. It's like something out of one of the Ninja Gaiden games. So this is a magic ring right here. We can drop one of our lesser items, like the Fruit of Repun. Just drop it. Grab another magic ring. And we have 2 more of these pits we need to cross, so be very careful. Gonna hang up away from the pit before until your platform arrives, you know. Risk getting knocked in, having to do this section all over.
Professor, I need to mention, you need to be level 14 before you fight this boss, so you might want to do a bit more grinding, okay?
Oh, good call, thank you.
Alright, just wanted to mention it.
Yeah, alright, well in that case, let's do that right quick and skip ahead until we are ready. And alright, let's bring him in now. Gary?
Boss beaters.
Alright, Mado, level 14, as I mentioned. Recommend, fire your fully charged water sword blasts at him, and just replenish your health as necessary. You might need to, as he's bouncing around the room in this one.
Very unsatisfying water sword blasts. Thank you, Gary. Good call on level 14. See, the last 2 levels that we'll get in the my favorite grinding spot, but yeah, it's just takes the piss out of it a little bit that we're only going to be able to get 2 levels out of it before we're maxed out. It's literally all you could ever get out of it, considering you have to be 14 to even do damage. Tomato here. Yeah, again, not difficult when you have a whole pocket full of magic rings. Just annoying. Down he goes. For real. So that's good. Sacred Shield. There you go. Pop that bad boy on right now. It's more base defense, but it also protects us against paralysis. So, for whatever that's worth. Thank you, Asina. Karmine. Yeah, this is where you gotta watch out for the curse. So Kenzu should be the last one. I guess Karmine's got Kenzu. And Kenzu has what is, I suppose, the second best spell in the game if you want to consider Recover to be the first. Say your health is most important, but sure is nice to be able to fly too. Just bypass a lot of enemies or avoid a lot of enemies in some cases. Getting a decent chunk of experience right there. Had about, what was that, 800 or something from that creature. Thunder Sword to get through here, as always. It's the one barrier that Thunder Sword is good for. Weird walls with faces. Guess they just kind of ran out of other barriers that you could destroy practically when everything else goes down with the other swords that you have. And hello. It's Kenzu. Oh. Ivory statue. Okay. So drop down. When he says hole, make sure you drop down there. If you go left, you'll start exiting the area. But no, this is where we need to go right here to get to Karmine and get the item that we need. And speaking of Karmine, let's throw it back to, make sure we're topped off in health first. Let's go back to Gary.
Boss beaters.
Alright, Karmine. Recommend level 14, which you should be after just taking down Mado again. And you want to avoid the projectiles, especially those shape-shifting rings. Keep firing your level 2 charged Thunder Sword shots, and just have plenty of magic rings and refresh going. It's a long battle. Not hard, but long when you have lots of refresh. Keep going, you'll take them down.
Alright, good call, Gary. Thank you. Another less than satisfying boss right here. But yeah, while we carry on with this rather unsatisfying battle right here, let's go to Fluff for another Fluff fact about this game. Fluff?
While Crystalis is considered a cult classic and an underappreciated gem in most circles, it seems Nintendo themselves appreciate it just fine, as they bought the rights to the game 10 years after its initial release and re-released it for the Game Boy Color in 2000. The opening line, October 1st, 1997, the end day, was understandably removed considering that version of the game came out 3 years after said end day, and they made a few other changes to the story and gameplay, as well as reworked the soundtrack. Response to this version was mixed at best, and most still consider the original NES version to be the better of the two. In 2005, Nintendo Power ranked the original version as the 115th best game to ever appear on a Nintendo system.
Yeah, they knew. I'd probably put it higher, but still, you know. Recognition's nice. Alright, so we got ourselves, as I'm trying to see if we can get to Kenzu without having to use another magic ring. We got the ivory statue from taking down Karmine. Then we got the thunder bracelet on top of that. So let's give him the statue. Got her right here, man. Is it because I have the opal statue equipped? There we go, as I stab you in the face. Looking good, Kenzu. Alright, there we go. Topping off our health and magic. Coming up on the final stretch here. And we now have the power of flight. So we have to do... I'm going to do a few errands now before we go on to the final part in this game. Pick up a few final items. On our way out of here, there's actually a couple items we can pick up. Here in the Oasis Cave, this is called. test out this power of flight right now to get out of the purple drink. Not sure what that is. Almost looks like something I saw in Link to the Past a little bit, but anyway, how nice is this? Just hold down the A button. Magic goes down relatively slowly, quite honestly. I'm comfortable with that for the gift of flight. Make a right here before we leave. There's 2 items we want to pick up here. Just in the interest of, you know, the 100% Crystalis walkthrough completion and everything. Another maze here, but getting around is much easier with said power of flight. First, we have the leather boots here in this corner. Blaze? Leather boots?
The leather boots! Not that useful, but it will protect you from spikes or poison ground. I'd prefer to just fly or use the rabbit boots if I'm not concerned about it, but there you go.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Getting them this late in the game doesn't really make sense, but that's fine. Especially when we could just fly over any obstacles like Blaze mentioned. Of course, those creatures can fly too. The main item I want to get here is the power ring, which we'll have Blaze explain. It's one of my favorite items in this game. Definitely an equip as soon as you pick it up type item. Come up here and hug this wall. This is going to lead us back into Draygonia Castle, essentially, just for one tiny little stretch where we can get this item. Another wall which comes alive there. And there is the power ring.
The power ring. I love this ring. Second only to the magic ring. It would be my item of the game for something that you can wear and never take off. This doubles your attack power. Makes you an absolute menace.
Yeah, whereas the power glove really was literally bad, the power ring figuratively bad. Bad for your enemies. That's for sure. So yeah. Definitely take that greater attack power all day. And there's the battle armor, which protects against poison, I think, but the base defense is not as good as the ceramic armor. So it's whatever you value. If you find yourself getting poisoned a lot, if you're in tank mode, then you know, maybe pop that on, I don't know. It's your choice, but once you're done, those are the 3 items to get in the Oasis Cave. And we come out in the desert here. If we go north, it connects back to the field outside of Goa, actually. Just like that. What a quick change in biomes right there. Go mountain and grasslands to desert just like that. So nice having the flight spell, I have to say. Avoiding just things that slow you down. It's a luxury, the power of flight, and we just use it so we don't get our feet dirty. But it is nice. Alright, anyway, back to the desert. Actually didn't need to stay at Goa. There's going to be the final town coming up here soon. And a sad moment involving a rabbit, actually. The only other thing here in the desert here with the quicksand is this cave, which we can only access using the flight spell. Cut through this cave, though. These are the enemies that I was referring to before. We go from about 6,000 to 7,400. This is about 1,400 experience from each one of those scorpions. All these rabbits say the same thing until you find the one in question. Remember early on in the game, Stom had a rabbit. Sadly, that rabbit is here now. I guess Stom dropped it off, assuming he'd come back. Yeah, I guess he's from around this area. And, so yeah, now we have to deliver the bad news. The rabbit will only talk to us if we take Stom's form, so let's do this. Or give us a specific message. He's gone, breaking the bad news. Don't have to worry about that. We will certainly avenge Stom. We got Dio's pendant. Blaze?
Alright, Dio's pendant. This one kind of hurts. It's bittersweet, but it slowly replenishes MP when you're not moving. Not all that useful, but don't tell the bunny that.
No, we certainly won't. Seems like Misha came through here at some point with someone with a dark cape. Sephiroth run? Are we on the trail of Sephiroth? Just a small town here in Sahara. Not much going on, just no more armor to buy. We can sell some stuff at the pawn shop, the trader. We can buy magic rings for 4 grand a pop. So I recommend getting your final 2 levels here. If you're at level 14, like you should be at this stage in the game. Shouldn't take too long. 1400, just multiply that. I guess I don't know how much experience you have at this stage, but it won't take long. So let's cut ahead. We're now at level 16, maxed out. You can see the experience at the bottom. All zeros. Nowhere to go at this point. We have 17 grand though, so we should have enough cash to fill our pockets more or less with magic rings. Before we do that, let's do the last few things. Tie up some loose ends here. So first, make yourself look like Akahana. He'll give you the warrior ring. Blaze?
Alright, the warrior ring turns you into Link with a full bar of health, essentially. Doesn't give you a full bar of health, but it makes it like you're Link with a full bar of health, in that it allows you to fire projectiles like you're charged up to level 1 without having to actually do it. So, not all that useful, but that's what it does.
Thank you, Blaze. Now, we'll get a much more useful item around here as we teleport to Shyron now, which is a bummer every time you have to do that after the events which transpired there. You know what? Assuming we make it out of this alive, we should definitely rebuild Shyron. Well, I guess they just kind of killed everyone. The buildings themselves are fine, just repopulated. There you go. Look on the bright side. This time we're gonna go right, as opposed to cutting left and going into Styx. Go back into these caves here. And grab an item that we could only access using the flight spell now. Got a few barriers that we can only break through with the Wind Sword level 2. You can tell those mimic chests when they're just sitting in the middle of nowhere like that. This is Poison Central right here. Just can't be bothered. Come on out here, and you might be wondering, how the heck am I going to get this before you have the flight spell? But assuming you have it, grab the Bow of Sun. We're going to head back to Sahara, buy a bunch of magic rings, and while we're doing that, another Fluff fact.
I talked earlier about Nintendo's attempt at re-releasing Crystalis for the Game Boy Color in 2000. SNK themselves actually re-released the game in 2019 for then modern generation consoles by including it in their SNK 40th Anniversary Collection. This 25-game set features many of their biggest hits between their first release in 1979 all the way to 1990. The one cool thing to mention, which obviously speaks to the quality of this game and their own appreciation for it, is that Crystalis is the sole non-arcade game out of the 25 games to appear in the collection.
Thank you, Fluff. And now, just in the interest, those bodies never disappear, it's sad. In the interest of making sure we grab everything, we're going to head back to Shyron. This item is in the same area, but it's just faster to go back to Shyron than go there from where we were. So this time, we're going to head left here, cut outside. Similar to before, but instead of going right, we're going to head left back to Styx. Get ourselves a decent shield. You're near the end of the game. Use that barrier spell again, or don't. Doesn't really matter at this point. We got money. We're heading back to Sahara after this for the final stretch. We can cure ourselves up. Get out of here with that. Like the big coins, the different... Anyway. And we have the flight spell, just go over the sewage. That's not the one we want. This is the one we want. The Psycho Shield. Simple enough. Best shield in the game now equipped. The only thing we're missing now is the best armor in the game, which we will get in just a moment. It's on the way. Alright, we're at the point of no return here, so make sure you are maxed out on magic rings. Have a full slate of them in your inventory. Should have 8 magic rings showing. Probably won't need them all, but it's just nice to have them. Now we're going to cut through this tunnel that we were only using to level up before. Just float over all of these diversions at this point. We're going to enter the Great Pyramid by flying there. Doesn't matter if you go left or right here. They're both going to pop out in the same kind of general main room. We're going to go down 3 of these intersections and then cut left. And then just cut right up these stairs right here. And it's boss time. Let's throw it back to Gary.
Boss beaters.
Alright, Emperor Draygon. Gotta be level 16 and fire your fully charged Thunder Sword Blast. 2 of them will take him down. If you have the power ring equipped, which you definitely should. And then just stay behind him and laugh. It's kinda crazy how quickly he goes down.
Very satisfying. As you'd expect near the end of the game when you're incredibly powerful. We got the best armor in the game as well, so pop that on, the Psycho armor, to go with our Psycho Shield. As he gives us the Bow of Truth. Very important. We should now have 3 different bows. Open a sporting goods store. Just with the contents of our pants. But yeah, hopefully no one messes with us. With all of our Psycho gear that we've got on us right now. Just go all the way around here. And be ready with each of your bows, the bow of Sun and the Moon. Pull those out, use each one in rapid succession before the creature gets a shot off on you. This door will open. Make sure you duck out of the way if you need to. Avoid that shot. Watch out for some of the projectiles these guys fire. Well, all the projectiles they fire. This will curse you, turn you into one of those little blobs temporarily. Look at that guy pretending he's a boss. Hanging out in a boss type area. We're just gonna float over this entire area here. If you go left or right, it's just dead ends. If you go to the right there, you'll get an opal statue. We don't care about that. We're just going straight for the prize. Float over these gaps right here. How much nicer is that? They know you have the spell at this point. I guess if you're looking for the hardcore difficulty, you'll take your chances with the floating platforms. No thank you. Alright, early on in this battle, before we can actually fight the boss, he'll be invincible until we use the Bow of Truth, which Azteca gave us. Use it right away. And Gary?
Boss beaters.
Alright, Draygon in his true form. Level 16. Gotta have that power ring on. And fire the fully charged Thunder Sword Blast. You need 3 of them this time. When the circle is showing in his chest, that red circle. Avoid the projectiles, heal as necessary, and you can laugh again if you want to. He's not that hard.
Good call. Love dominating a boss to the point that you can just laugh. I think it's only fair, if you ask me. That's when you take those shots when the lasers come out. Bosses are always laughing maniacally at us for no reason. I guess that's the hint, the maniacal part. There is no reason behind it. So he throws these little, I don't know, they look like little time release tablets or something, or some sort of candy that, I don't know, eludes me at the moment. Sort of the colors of candy corn. Some of the colors. I like those pumpkins, by the way, not to get too off track here, but the pumpkins of the similar kind of texture and everything, and flavor. They usually release around Halloween and in the autumn time. Nice autumn background here, just a big old orange background for the penultimate boss battle in this game. Watch out for the curse. They fire at you like a low-level enemy we just encountered. And down he goes. There's all smoke and mirrors, and Azteca is down. Poor Kenzu. He had a nice relationship with Azteca. We've lost so many of our friends throughout the course of this game. We're finally going to meet Mija here in the tower, the floating tower. Do yourself a favor at this point, equip the warrior ring. I find it a lot easier to deal with these robots, to attack them from a distance rather than getting up close and dirty with them. You can also trap them in a corner this way. But yeah, the distance gives you more time to react to any shots they get off at you. We need to kill all these guys, then some robots will appear in the teleporters. Then we gotta kill all of them before we can go to the next floor. And while we're doing this, one last Fluff fact with Fluff.
Crystalis makes a few references to another SNK game, Psycho Soldier. The Psycho armor is named after it for one, and two, the sages Kensu and Athena are based on the two main character and warriors of light, C. Kenzao and Athena Asimaya. The game's story is also loosely based on famous Japanese director Miyazaki's anime film, Miyazaki of the Valley of the Wind, and incidentally, the Poison Forest giant insect boss looks nearly identical to the Omu giant insects from the film.
There you go. Thank you, Fluff. Yeah, everything was inspired by something. It's just, sometimes it's harder to spot the influences in these older games, because one, they had less to work with to kind of achieve their vision sometimes, and two, a lot of the references are more dated now, so we're not going to pick up on them quite as easily unless they're really obvious. As we travel between the floors, we'll get messages from the people who created this tower, messages to Mija and ourselves. Once again, keep that warrior ring equipped. One time I'll tell you to take off the power ring, just because the distance really does help you out here. And I like the distance attack too with the Thunder Sword in particular. Looks cool, the little miniature lightning bolts. If you get right on these robots when they come out of their little teleportation chamber, every now and then you can kind of stun lock them before they get any hits off and take them down really quickly. Otherwise, it's just more of a marathon taking them down. Still have plenty of magic rings. You'll probably finish the game with 3 or 4 at least. Only go through about half of them in this stretch here, but it is easy to get slapped around by a lot of these enemies. Just have that replenish spell queued up and just keep pounding it as you need to. So we're kind of stun locking these robots here, making it harder for them to get their shots off. Take the escalator up. As we learned that Azteca was a android programmed by these people. This game was very, I don't know, its story is very novel for its time, I have to say. Very clever. At least in the medium of a video game. Every time you hit 0, just pound another one of those rings. Keep replenishing your ability to replenish yourself. I'm playing this pretty loose because, again, we have all those rings and we're so close to the end, we're not going to need them. This does save you some HP, though, using that warrior ring, attacking them at a distance. But still, in the interest of saving time at the end of a 2-hour class, Just, yeah. Getting a little down and dirty here at the end. By the way, please consider subscribing if you haven't already done so to enroll in this class. Just click that subscribe button for this channel. Do one of these classes every single week. On these classic games, we'd love to have you enrolled as we finally caught up to Mija. She has us put all 4 swords down, and together they will combine into Crystalis, the namesake of the game and the greatest sword, at least in the context of this game. So we have to destroy a supercomputer called Dyno. You can see all of our swords have disappeared, just replaced with Crystalis at this point. We're the last hope for this long-dead people. It's up to us, class. Thankfully, we have Gary.
Boss beaters.
Hey, Dyno, the final boss. Gotta be level 16. Fire 8 shots at the eye. Heal is necessary. And there you go. You have beaten Crystalis. Good job.
Down they go. Thank you very much, Gary. Excellent work today. Fluff, Blaze, all around. You watching this video, thank you so much as we thrust Crystalis into the reactor. I like that scientific solution there. Just jam it in. I'm sure it'll be fine. No, I'm good. I got refresh and a crap ton of magic rings. I'll share with you. Let's get out of here, Mija. I mean, couldn't we find something else to jam in there? Such a good sword. Guess that's not how it works. Now this legendary conflict, along with the people's despair, have ultimately ended. Professor and Mija, 2 fearless youths we can never forget. This will be a legend remembered forever to maintain peace and humanity, and peace will remain. Not the worst ending, I have to say. I like these shots here, even though it kind of looks like Super Mario Bros. 3. But that's okay. It's like ocean land, desert land. Just want to see a Goomba in one of these frames. Mario jumping on a turtle's head or something. Again, beautiful artwork here, like in the intro. Just a lovely game once again. One of the best, underrated, underappreciated hidden gems. There's Stom's rabbit right there. Obviously appreciated by you, class. You're watching this, so thank you so much. One last time, if you don't mind clicking that like button, it really does help us out. Leave a comment. Did you play this one growing up or recently? I hope this Crystalis walkthrough one last time helped you out. Please consider subscribing one more time if you haven't already. Really does mean a lot to us. And there are the 2 heroes watching the disc. I mean, I assume Mija's a hero. We didn't really see anything that she did. But there you go. Nice when both characters make it out alive at the end, but that's our time for this week. We'll see you next week in the same spot for next week's class right here on Video Games 101. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on this video and click subscribe if you haven't already, as this seriously helps me to keep making great content for you. And check the description of this video to see what song is playing right now.